Imagine stepping into a professional fight knowing your body is already broken. Merab Dvalishvili didn't just fight injured, he dominated with one of the craziest comeback stories in MMA. 2 months prior to the Merab versus Umar fight, in November 2024, Merab hit his right shin on the edge of a stair climber, which caused a massive cut on his leg. At first, the wound was healing normally, but unfortunately, it got infected due to Merab's relentless training, which made the situation even worse. This massive injury prevented Merab's training. Not only was he unable to kick with his right leg, but he also couldn't walk for some time. Even after he continued training, whenever anyone touched his right shin during wrestling or striking, his pain was immense, and therefore he couldn't train at his best. The wound hadn't fully closed even by fight night, but that wasn't his only problem. During UFC Fight Week, which starts 1 week before the fight, journalists and media guys were recording UFC Countdown with Merab, where he wanted to show more of his moments of brutal training, like lifting his friends and running with them. However, Merab put too much pressure on his lower back, which made him unable to move for a couple of days. Exactly 1 week before the fight, Merab was lying in his bed, depressed because of his second injury, while his opponent Umar, trained by Khabib, was healthy and ready to destroy anything. So, what was the comeback motivation that made Merab forget his pain and brutally dominate his opponent for 5 full rounds? This fight for Merab wasn't just another fight, it was his first title defense, and also an answer to the disrespect that Umar Nurmagomedov and his fans were throwing at him. Umar went off on X, calling Merab a fake champion, when in reality, Merab had beaten 4 champions in a row to earn the title. To make things even worse, he mentioned Merab wasn't Georgian because he didn't represent his country's values and traditions. Meanwhile, Merab Dvalishvili, a man who loves his country more than anything, became furious about all the BS that Umar was throwing at him and therefore wanted to punch his face as many times as possible despite back and leg injuries. That's why Merab signed the contract to fight Umar Nurmagomedov on a 2-month notice, and some people even say that he was pressured by UFC to do so. During the fight, you could see the aftermath of the cut on Merab's right shin, which definitely would have affected his performance. That's why the first 2 rounds were very close fights, but starting from the 3rd round, where most fighters would slow down, Merab went full pressure mode, landing takedown after takedown. Even with a back injury, he was able to break the most takedowns record in UFC, but that wasn't his goal. He just wanted to make fun of Umar for all the disrespect he had received. Hence, he started showboating and making fun of him in front of his cousin, a UFC legend, Khabib Nurmagomedov, who had been strictly coaching Umar Nurmagomedov throughout the camp and also in the corner. At the end of the fight, Umar was looking super exhausted from the pace that Merab was fighting with despite the injuries. Nobody was expecting Merab's cardio would be this good, which led to a huge comeback win for Merab against a guy who was brutally trained by the Eagle. After the fight, a journalist asked the president of UFC, Dana White, a question about Khabib, saying that Merab was pressured into taking this fight on short notice, and this is what Dana answered. Well, if Merab was pressured into taking this fight, it worked out for him. It seems that even though Merab was a huge underdog before this fight, he proved to everyone that he is the world champion for a reason, and other fighters need to show some respect to him, or else he will humiliate them on the octagon. What do you think? How long will Merab's dominance last, and is he the GOAT of the bantamweight division?